Someone asked, I would love to get a discussion on Danazol for lowering SHBG, please.
Danazol?
Danazol? Yeah.
So sadly we don't have Proviron in the United States, which I think is a phenomenal medication that would do wonders for guys with chronically elevated SHBG. You got to understand, SHBG being high is not something you need to get on and crush right out of the gate, because that is a missed opportunity to potentially diagnose a more serious underlying issue. Before you go and address an issue, the first thing you want to figure out is the etiology of this issue, right? In simple terms, why did it happen? What is the root cause? So when you're able to diagnose the root cause of something, it is then okay to go ahead and treat the root cause. Because if we crush the sign or the symptom, but we don't treat the reason, it's not only going to just come back, but that reason that's causing symptom A may cause symptoms B and C, and you may not be privy to that until it's too late. So don't just go and crush your SHBG because it's been at 85 for the last 2 years. Check out why you have it elevated. Check your liver functions. You may need an ultrasound. Check out other metabolic conditions. Check genetics, right? Does your dad and your brother have elevated SHBG? Maybe that's just your number. Same thing goes for PSA. We've got patients with PSA of 5 or 6. They've been that way for 15 years. We're trending back to their primary care physician, from age 35, 40, 45. Now they're 65 years old. They've always had that number, and every DRE that they've had or prostate exam has been benign. So at the end of the day, you have to understand why a number is what it is. Danazol will lower SHBG. But you also have to look at other potential risks and side effects with every medication. Just like cabergoline, a dopamine agonist that lowers prolactin very effectively, very powerful medication, can have implications on the mitral valves of the heart. So guys like to just look at the indication of a medication and what it's used for. They don't like to look at the black box warnings and say, well, what is it going to do to me otherwise? There's much more efficient ways, especially for guys on TRT, to lower SHBG if in fact it is not due to an underlying cause that is missed, without using pharmacological agents to do the job. So there's dietary issues that could be addressed. There are herbal and over-the-counter supplements that could be utilized, and then there is frequency and dosing changes that could be done within their protocols in order to optimize their SHBG levels. Now let me go back to the previous question 2 questions ago and reiterate, this is why I don't like the word cheap, because you're not going to get this type of stuff from a cheap provider. They don't have the time and knowledge to understand this stuff because they have to do high volume to make up for their quote-unquote cheap price. So if you really need individual attention and support, seek out somebody who understands it and then put a value on what it is that you're receiving for the service. SHBG is a very, very important key metric that we use, and I encourage all providers to use when managing guys on TRT. It's a fine balance between too high, too low, and how to keep it there. It's an ever-changing protein that you kind of have to, keep an eye on.
Check out my TRT workout split or the ebook The Ultimate Guide to TRT Cream. Links to the merchandise shop in the description.